Hi, this is Tim from Omnia, and I've got Stephanie and Michael here who are volunteers in the Autonomic Response testing that we're going to do today on the Omnia radiation balancer. Let's go inside. In this video, we test the body's response to wearing Bluetooth headphones, with and without the ORB attached, through the technique of autonomic response testing using a 5G phone, and the tests are conducted by Cheryl Wilson.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Wilson. I'm a nutritional therapist and functional medicine practitioner and ART practitioner, and I've been practicing in the natural medicine industry for 13 years, and I've been working as an ART practitioner for the last 2 years. Well, ART stands for Autonomic Response Testing, and so we're doing just that. We're using the autonomic nervous system as an access to be able to do the muscle test. It's a form of muscle testing, but it does differ from other muscle tests such as kinesiology for a few key reasons. Because we're actually testing via the autonomic nervous system the biophoton coherence that's coming off the body. So we emit and we receive information in the way of light, also known as biophotons, and because of the two devices that we use in autonomic response testing, the pull filter and the signal enhancer, we're able to see what's happening within the biophoton field. The other main difference with autonomic response testing is that we're also looking at the parasympathetic nervous system, and we do that through the O-ring test, and that's something that's often not done or not done in most other muscle testing modalities, and that's really important because we want to be able to see not only when a person's going into a state of stress or relaxation in response to a remedy or an intervention. Without looking at that, we're basically missing the deepest healing state that can occur, which is the yang state, and that's really the strongest state of healing that a person can go into, and that's tested only via the parasympathetic nervous system, that we can test via the hands. In autonomic response testing, we do use an assistant or an arm or an intermediary, we may call them, and the reason for that, it comes out of Dr. Umura's work, who's a Japanese medical doctor, and he found through his studies that when you do put a person in the middle as a conduit, that the testing actually becomes a lot more accurate, and there's a number of reasons for that, but in simple terms it's because my stuff isn't affecting the patient's body. For example, if I'd eaten a lot of wheat for lunch and the patient was wheat sensitive, that actually might cause that not to show then in the patient's body because I'm in their field almost like a big vial of wheat. Not only that, the patient's things have the potential to impact me as well, and then potentially impact the testing. So putting somebody in the middle seems to just neutralize that all out and make for a lot more accurate testing. We have two key pieces of equipment that we use in an ART session. The first of which is called a signal enhancer, and that's a highly crystalline polymer block which actually communicates with the body's biophoton field. And when we combine that with another piece of equipment which is called a pull filter, we're actually then asking of the body how coherent the light is when combined with a muscle test. The pull filter has many, many lines that run across it, thousands, all in a linear fashion, and the light comes out of our body in a wave-like fashion in this direction. And so whenever we place this behind a person's head, we're actually measuring how coherent the light is coming out of their body. And we have a way to measure and see how coherent that is too. Some people we have a little dial on the polymer block, and some people we won't get an open muscle test at 0 because they potentially have some serious things going on with their health that needs to be resolved, or maybe they're particularly stressed that day about something. But people that are in an optimal state of health tend to have open an angle of anywhere from 70 up to 89 degrees. So we can turn the pull filter on the dial and muscle test at the same time to see where we get an opening angle, and that goes to either side. And so that's a really nice way to be able to see where a person is on their health journey.
We're here in Cheryl's treatment room, and we're going to be using my phone today because it's 5G enabled. So I've turned that on, and what I've noticed is that we're picking up a 5G signal in her treatment room. So I've got my phone on airplane mode at the moment, and what we're going to do just quickly is turn on this EMF meter and see what happens when we turn it off airplane mode. Right now it's at about 0.004 microwatts per square meter. That's very low, that's what you'd expect. So let's just have a quick look at what happens when I turn it off airplane mode and it looks for a 5G signal. So now we see the readings going up to 312, 130.
Okay, Michael, would you like to do some ART?
Yes, please.
Lovely. Okay, so Tammy's just going to put her hand up against her leg. So she's going to create a bit of a circuit, and I'm going to test on her on what's happening with your autonomic nervous system. So you have open regulation, which is a really great thing. You're in good form today. Let's see how open you are. You're open to 10 each side. So better than blocked. Okay. Now, first thing we'll do is we shall do a blindfold test. I'm just going to put this blindfold over your eyes. If you bring your hands up and block out all of the light. I'm just going to leave it about 10 seconds, and then I'm going to see if your melatonin levels are struggling to kick into the darkness. And that would indicate that you are currently being challenged by electromagnetic frequencies. Yes, so now you've gone into blocked regulation. So that tells us, I can take this away, that electromagnetic frequencies are causing stress to your body. They reduce the biophoton coherence. Now, let's see if you've returned to 10, or it might take a little while. Okay. You're back to open regulation slightly whenever we take the blindfold away. Now, let's test what happens with a mobile phone. Okay. So we'll have it be on airplane mode, and you just hold it and look as if you're looking at a text message, and we'll just check if anything has changed. So you've gone into blocked regulation. So even with the phone on airplane mode, there is certain types of signals that are still happening, such as GPS. There's also battery in the phone. Some people are even sensitive to mobile phones when it's on airplane mode, and you seem to be one of them. Let's see. I think what I'll do, just to see how big a difference it makes, is I will open your regulation up more with some chlorella, which usually does people very well. I'm going to just place that on your tummy, see what happens. Okay, that opens you up. It opens you up fully on both sides. Okay. Let's bring the phone in again on airplane mode. So, just take a look and see if you're as if you're reading a text. You have open regulation, but it's reduced when it's on airplane mode. So now what I'll do is I'll just switch the 5G on. Give that a few seconds to kick in. Okay, and I'll retest. And you're definitely not in a healing state. You've gone into blocked regulation. So that has completely gotten rid of any coherence that there is in your biophoton emissions.
Okay.
Now let's put a sticker on and see what happens.
Why not?
Okay, so now we've got it back on airplane mode. we've got the sticker on. We've still got chlorella on your tummy because you like that. You now have open regulation, and now it's open fully again. So now the phone on airplane mode is no longer affecting you, your biophoton emissions. Let's take it off airplane mode.
So once the sticker went on, it completely transformed the way my body was feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how you were responding to the frequency.
Okay. Interesting.
So now we'll turn the 5G on again. Just give it a few seconds. And you still have open regulation, so nothing has changed, even though now the signal is switched on. Put it to your head as if you were going to make a phone call. Here. So you've gone into a +8 yang state, which is a very, very deep healing state whenever you put it to your head.
It's just so the fact it's near my head is starting to make me feel rather compared to it being here. So there's a difference from there to there.
Yes.
Wow. From the sticker.
Yeah, which is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
It is.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's what the test shows.
Okay. Very well.
We can call it into the phone as well and see how, because obviously then you're connected to a call and the frequency should be much higher.
Okay.
So let me just call this phone and see. So answer it when it calls through.
Hello.
Okay, you haven't come out of the healing state. You're still in a healing state, even though it's now on a call.
Good stuff.
I'm going to test something else.
Yeah.
Okay. Take the chlorella out. Checked for blocked regulation.
So he was open to 10. Let's see where he's at. Is he still at 10?
He might be still young. Yeah.
Make a tone. Okay, so now you're open. You're back to being open at 10 without any chlorella on your body. Let's bring the phone back in again on 5G. Put it to your head because last time that blocked your regulation without the sticker. And now you have completely open regulation. You're not in a healing state, but it's taken you from 10 to 89, which is the most open the biophoton coherence can be.
Good stuff. Thank you.
So now we're going to do a Bluetooth test. We've got Michael with a Bluetooth headphone or earpiece in. The phone is about 1 meter away, which is playing a video, which you can hear through his speaker. But I'm just going to quickly show you what proximity does, or how proximity is important in the radiation debate, because you can see that I've got a reading of 0.007, 0.004, but when I go close into the Bluetooth piece here, it'll jump up to 3. So that's from 0.07 up to 2.8, 2.7. So it's fairly consistently around the 3 marker. It's jumping up a bit closer to 4 there. So we've gone up quite a number of times there.
And the phone with the Bluetooth switched on?
Phone with the Bluetooth switched on. It's up to 58, 22, 49, 34. Yeah, I mean, anytime it beeps, it means a high level of radio frequency.
So you're open to 10. Let's see what happens when we bring the earpiece in. So we have the Bluetooth headset. You just pop that in. It's already connected to a video on the phone by Bluetooth.
It's on.
Good. and you've gone into blocked regulation.
Okay.
So we're going to put a sticker onto the phone and see if that can positively impact
Okay, yes.
the Bluetooth headset.
Okay.
Video's playing.
Just stick around. That's opened your regulation fully, so it's taking you from no coherence in your biophoton field to absolute coherence.
So from the sticker being on the phone over there is
Opened
done
you. Yeah.
a good thing, a positive thing over this side.
Yes.
Amazing.
Looks like it.
Beautiful.
Can we try now to put a stick as well on here and see if there's a healing reaction?
Yeah, we can do that.
Oh, you got it? Amazing. It's on.
And that's put you into a healing state to the
Wow.
power of 8.
Wow. So it makes a big difference having it on there as well.
The phone and the Bluetooth together, the
Okay.
Bluetooth headset together.
So what now if you have the phone without the sticker and the Bluetooth with?
That's a good question. So now we've got the sticker off the phone, but we've left it on the headset. So let's see where you are. And you're still in a +8 healing state. Let's bring the phone closer and see what happens.
Okay.
I need to take it out.
Yes. Just
First, I'm going to take you out of a healing state. So
Okay.
make a tone. Okay. Now you're just back to open regulation. And Tim, if you just start bringing the phone closer to the body, and we see.
Shall I hold it?
And you can hear.
But we'll do it gradually.
Okay.
Okay. Nothing's changing so far. Hold it. Watch your video. So your regulation remains completely open. Your biophoton coherence stays at the maximum, even when you're watching the video on a phone with no sticker, and the sticker is on the earphone.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Wow, that feels amazing. The body feels like so relaxed, like I've just felt I've been healed. My body throughout, this coherence that I'm feeling. Not like I'm unbalanced, but really good feeling. Amazing.
Great. It's good feedback. I mean, what we saw was that we applied the orb to a phone, to a Bluetooth headset, and to your body. And each of those times your body told us through the ladies doing the experiment that you were strengthening up, that your parasympathetic nervous system was in healing state for a lot of that, which is fantastic. All from just a small sticker like this. So yeah, how do you feel now about the Omnia Radiation Balancer? Is it something that you're keen to have a look at?
Yes, definitely feel to definitely get some stickers, because the feeling that you get from it, it's definitely a coherence in the body that I can feel. Definitely made a big difference.
It's very subtle, isn't it? I mean, it's not like you're going to have a sticker and then suddenly you're like Popeye. It's subtle for a lot of people, but those people who suffer from electromagnetic hypersensitivity, they pick up on it quite quickly. So yeah, I'm glad that you felt that in your body.
Thank you very much. It's been amazing. My body really feels something is definitely going on. It's a great feeling. Thank you very much.
So what was interesting is, because we put the Omnia Radiation Balancer on the actual earpiece, and that earpiece is going into very close proximity with the brain, because the brain's a very vital organ for your well-being and your health, that resonant effect that gets passed into the brain actually creates the healing state. And that's, I think, something that we found today, which is really interesting.
The results of today's test and the fact that what we're seeing through the testing, that you can put the mobile phone to the head and it actually is putting somebody into a healing state, it does feel quite alien to me now to be able to, I probably wouldn't, say recommend that people are, going to still continue to put their mobile phone to their head. I do think it needs like more looking at like how long would that potential effect last, and but I think it's just really valuable insight that sometimes certain things do need to be done. Sometimes we are in a Wi-Fi rich environment, sometimes we do sometimes our kids do get their hands on our mobile devices, sometimes we do need to take a call, so it just is that extra level of assuredness on top of the fact that I would not have Wi-Fi on at home and have a wired connection, and on top of the fact that I never put my mobile phone to my head, but just to know that whenever the sticker is on there, that it seems to be having a very positive effect on the frequency that is being emitted by the device, and that just gives me an extra level of confidence then in that I'm doing everything possible to reduce my exposure.
I want to talk about some of the conclusions and what we saw. Maybe first of all, you could talk about what we saw when people didn't have any protection on their phone when they were holding the phone. What did you see there?
Yeah, well, the main thing that we were seeing is that they were going into what's called blocked regulation, which is where even whenever we'd either opened their biophoton field with something such as chlorella, which is a very simple remedy that often does that, that then they would quite quickly then jump back into this blocked regulation whenever they were exposed to these higher levels of radiation that a phone or a Bluetooth headset has, or an iPad connected to Wi-Fi.
Yeah, great. And then we obviously put the Omnia radiation balancer on the phone or the Bluetooth headset. And then what observations did you notice in the subjects that we tested?
Yeah, it was a really interesting observation, which was that when it's away from the body, just on the hand, the device, that they did, even where the regulation was only at about 10 out of a possible 89, it was actually going the whole way to 89, which showed that it seemed to be having a positive effect on the state of that person's field. And then what was even more surprising was whenever the device went to the head, close to the brain, which is of course the operating system of the the machine that drives the rest of the bodily functions, that they were actually going into this very deep healing state, which just bumps up against everything we think you should do really with a mobile phone. And
yeah, I mean, like yourself, you're probably well aware of the idea that everything in the body is electrical, and that mobile phones are carrying extremely strong electrical fields, or what we would call magneto-electric fields. So there is that, when those two fields meet, there is that what you would probably call incoherence, right? Yes. And we would call imbalance, the same kind of thing. Yes. But you noticed that balance was restored when the energy in the phone was brought into resonance with the human body. Would that be a fair assumption? Yeah,
that's what the test results reflected.
Is what you saw a strong enough recommendation to say that you think that the Omnia radiation balancer is helping?
Yeah, I'm definitely not recommending that people all of a sudden start putting their phone to their head. I'm really intrigued, and I want to understand now more about the technology as to how that could potentially be the case and investigate further. But yeah, I would absolutely say, in combination with the steps that many of my clients already take in managing their technology and reducing their exposure, this is an exciting new way for us to have even more assurance that we are, not being impacted.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
To recap the autonomic response testing results we just saw, on the baseline with no phone exposure and with the assistance of some chlorella, the body went into open regulation. When there was no orb applied to the phone or headphones, the body went into blocked regulation mode, denoting incoherence. And when the orb was applied to the headphones or to the phone, the body went into strength state and it achieved the 8th level of yang state, which is the deepest. This is evidence that the electrical signals in the brain are resonating well with the energy in the Omnia Radiation Balancer patch. Check out our other testing results in this video, or head to www.omniaradiationbalancer.com to learn about the science, to hear testimonials from our customers, and of course to buy the Omnia Radiation Balancer. Thank you.